Eighth video of Google Ads Mastery course, and in this video we're going to know about ad networks, Google Display Network, and what are Google placements which we have in our campaign. Because until last video we finished till here, we selected maximize conversions. By the way guys, this is a real campaign I'll be creating and I'll run it for a while, maybe to show you how the reporting looks like. Now I'll click on next and it will take us to the next section of our Google search ads settings. Now, if you see on the left hand side, as I told you previously, now there are network settings, location, language, audience, broad key, match keyword, and other settings before the review. So we'll be doing them one by one. This is just to remind you. So our next setup is basically about networks. So Google gives you two options to select from, which I'll explain to you what they mean. So there are basically two settings, which is Google Search Partners Network and Google Display Network. You have to either check them. By default, they'll be checked. Always make sure if you don't want to do it in the campaign, these are some by default settings which you will have to change. You will not have to leave them as they are. They'll be automatically checked. But to understand them and to decide whether we'll be using it for our campaign or not, we'll first have to understand some theoretical concepts which are very, very important. So the first thing is, what is an ad network? So ad network is basically primarily a technology company who act as an intermediate between the publishers and the advertisers. Now in advertising space, there are two parties always involved. One is the advertiser like us, because we want to spend money, we want to advertise our products and services, we want to reach out to people and we want to pay for it. So that makes us an advertiser. A publisher, on the other hand, is who own the properties where the ads will be shown. For example, if our ads are shown on Google or YouTube, the publisher is Google. Now, if our ads are shown on any other website, let's say bbc.com, that means the publisher in that case is bbc.com, or sometimes it appears on a website or an app. So those all companies, they are basically the publishers who show our ads on their properties, whether it's a website or an app. So that's what an advertiser and a publisher is. Now to run ads, for advertisers to run ads, they need a publisher. It can be Google, Facebook, or a third-party website. There needs to be a connection between them. Generally, in the old days when TV advertising and radio advertising was popular, so these advertisers would go to these TV companies directly or radio companies and tell them, listen, we want to advertise. Now, after digital marketing, these advertisers started to going to these publishers like CNN and bbc.com and all, tell them, listen, we want to show ads on your website. And that's how it used to happen. But with the evolution in digital marketing now, you don't restrict your ads on one website. You basically show it wherever you want to and wherever your audience is. And there are millions and millions of websites in this world who allow showing ads on their websites and apps. Now, it became very difficult for an advertiser to reach out to so many websites. Some are based in different countries. So basically, it was overall very, very hectic. And thus, these ad networks came into picture. So companies like Google, Facebook, and there are a lot of ad networks. What these ad networks did is they basically talked to these publishers, told them, listen, we will show ads on your website. You don't have to reach out to advertisers to sell your inventory, or advertisers will not have to reach out to you because it might be difficult for them to find you if you're a small publisher. So basically, they set up deals with all the publishers. How they set up deals basically is the publishers go to their platform, they sign up, generate some tags, put their own website. It's a different topic altogether. So for example, if I go to Kurs8 Times, which is like a news website here in UAE, now they basically, in these news websites, they show ads on their websites to make money. That's their business model. If you see they're showing a Google ad here, then they're showing this ad from Zoho. How Kurs8 Times does it, or I used to do with my blog, is I go to Google, I sign up for their publisher partner program, and basically they give me a tag, I put it on my website, and Google automatically takes care of everything. They show the ads, they keep a track of how many times ads were shown, they pay me every month and stuff like that. So in this case, or my case, we went to Google and we became a Google partner. We became a part of their inventory, right? So Google here becomes an ad network. Now my other option was I sign up with, let's say, Facebook partner program, and I become a publisher in Facebook network, right? There are many networks like that where I can basically sell my website ad spaces. And in turn, what these ad networks do is they talk to advertisers. For example, we go to Google Ads, we set up our campaigns. We basically are the advertisers who go to Google Ads. They act as intermediates. On the other hand, and they have these deals with these publishers. So basically, ad networks connects advertisers and publishers. So it's as simple as that. There's no rocket science behind it. Okay. Now there are different types of ad networks. For example, Facebook has its own ad network called Audience Network. So if you run ads on Facebook, meta ads, it doesn't mean that your ads will be only shown on Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. Your ads appear on third-party websites owned by different companies, on blogs, and things like that. How? Because they signed up with Facebook's audience network. That's how publishers show ads on their websites, right? So similarly, Google has Google Display Network, or it's called GDN. It's one of the biggest ad networks. And there are small specialized ad networks as well. For example, Dynami is one of them. I worked with them previously. What they do is they basically have tie-ups with these companies. Let me make it a bit bigger. Like Forbes, Money Week, Reuters, Wall Street Journal, The Times. So all the finance-related publishers, how Dynami positions themselves is it goes to different Forex companies and trading companies like IG Forex or Robinhood and things like that. Tells them, listen, we have an ad network, and in our network, you'll only find finance-related websites. So if you show ads on our platform, you will sign up with us, like we set up campaigns in Google Ads. If you set up campaign on Dynami DSP, your ads will only appear on finance-related websites because you're anyways a finance company. That's the kind of audience you're looking for, people who visit these kind of websites. So this is an ad network as well, though it's very, very small when compared to Google Display Network or Audience Network. Now, the next thing we have to understand is Google Display Network. Now, Google Display Network is an ad network as well. It's also called GDN. So GDN controls basically three types of websites. The one is Google's owned and operated, which is YouTube, Google Discover, Google Search, Gmail. So these are all properties where Google shows ads, but they're owned by Google itself. Then GDN also has third-party games, apps, and websites like BBC News, Candy Crush, 365 Scores, almost any website you can think of, they will be somehow linked to part of Google Display Network in most of the cases. For example, as I told you here, Kurs8 Times. So now if you see here, they're showing these ads from Zoho and all. How do they do it? Because they're part of Google Display Network. How do I know? Because if you click on here, it says ads by Google, which means this ad was basically shown on Kurs8 Times via Google Display Network, right? Same thing here as well. And on most of the websites you will see from Google, which means they're part of Google Ad Network or Google Display Network. And again, third-party apps and websites, but these are called search partners. This is display partners, these are search partners. These are called search partners. It's very straightforward. If a website, for example, dubizzle.com, which is very common in UAE, it's like a marketplace, like OLX.com and things like that. So if you go here, now if you see this website actually has a search capability. If you go to Dubizzle, you can search something on Dubizzle. For example, I go here, I can search. So if the website is part of Google Display Network and they have this search capability as well. So the only difference between this and this is if a website has the search capability, it becomes Google search partner. If it does not, then it's gently put in Google Display Network part here. So these are the three types of websites which fall under Google Display Network. So I hope this is clear. So now it will make sense to go back to the platform, and now I'll explain to you what these settings mean. Now, when you have search campaign, the first option Google is giving you whether from this campaign you want the ads to appear on only Google search, because search campaign, whenever you set up a search campaign, it will always appear on Google search engine result page. So if you go to Google, you search for something, the keywords you have mentioned, your ads will appear there. As simple as that. Like in the case of dentist near me. So you see these ads, because these ads are appearing on Google search or Google search engine result page. That means your search ad campaigns will always appear there. You cannot restrict that. But optionally, Google is asking you, do you want your ads to appear on Google Search Partner Network? And it will show you Google partners can include hundreds of non-Google websites, park domains, as well as YouTube and other Google sites. Because YouTube is a Google search partner as well, though it's owned by Google. So if you go to YouTube here, now if you see, YouTube has a search capability as well. So that is included in search network as well. So Google is saying, do you want your ads to appear there? Now, one more example apart from YouTube and Google owned properties is Dubizzle.com. So if I go to Dubizzle, I search for, let's say, Nissan Altima. Now, what happens is, because it's a marketplace, all the people who have listed their cars here, Nissan Altimas will appear here. So when you scroll down, if you see, there will be some ads. Now, these are the listings from the marketplace, which Dubizzle does, right? But towards the end, you will see a sponsored thing here. And if you see here, it's exactly like a search ad. So basically, these guys, GTA Cars, they have a search campaign in Google and they have allowed this option. They have checked this option that we want to appear. That's why their ad is appearing on a Google search partner, which is Dubizzle here. Same thing with Kia UAE. Now, if Kia UAE goes back to this campaign in their Google ads and they say, no, we don't want to do this. Now that ad will not appear for here. And the one thing you have to remember is these ads only appear on the keywords, which means Kia UAE and GTA Cars are bidding for this keyword, which is Nissan Altima, in their Google search campaigns. And on search partners, when somebody searches for these keywords, their ads appear here. So it's that simple. Now, what Google basically tells you is expand your reach with Google search partners, reach additional customers on partner sites. Now, in my case, I always recommend to test it, but in most of the cases, it does not give good results. And the search volume anyways is very, very less. Once you set up your campaign, you run it for a while. In the reports, you can actually check how many times the ads were shown on Google search, google.com, and how many times on partner search websites, and what was the amount spent and how many leads. Generally, Google search partners does not have huge volumes, but it's worth testing when you start your campaign. Enable this option. After a while, a week, 2 weeks, check if it's performing, this placement is performing you or not. Or in case you have, you're from an industry, the search volume is very, very less for you. In those cases, enabling this actually helps to scale the campaigns. So in my case, what I'll do is I will enable this, because the campaign we are trying to set up for courses and all, there are a lot of websites where people go and search for these kind of courses, coupons and all, and with these keywords like digital marketing course, Google Ads course. So for me, and this is a new campaign, I will just enable it, and after a week or two, I will see if this placement is working for me. After that, there is a second option, which is Google Display Network, and Google shows this as recommended as well. So what this basically means is, as I told you, part of Google Display Network is third-party games, apps, and websites. Google is asking you if your search ad should appear on here. These are not search partners, but now you might ask me, how will these ads look like? So in these cases, what Google does is basically it transforms your ad. Now, if you see here, this Nexus ad, this is actually a search ad. This is the headline of the ad. This is the description of the ad. In most of the cases, how do you recognize if it's a flat or a simple background with just text on it, and there's this big arrow button here? In most of the cases, that's how Google will transform your search ads into these kind of banners. And they feel like a banner. For example, if you go to Dubizzle here, now this is a banner ad, right? This is a banner ad. This is a banner ad. But if you look here, this is designed banner ad, right? It has been designed by the company. And what Google is telling you is basically they will transform your search ad into like a banner, and it will appear exactly like this. So this ad here, it will appear here, and it gives a feeling of a banner. And it can appear anywhere. Like it can appear on College Times, here, like Google will transform your search ad, and it'll be like a flat background with just text and an arrow button here. Or it can appear in square size, this 738 cross 90, this size, or any other size, 300 cross 600. It can appear anywhere, bbc.com. You might be playing a game, and there will be a interstitial that covers the whole screen, and your search ad will be transformed into a display ad. In most of the cases, I will ask you to not select this option, because if I want to run banner ads, if I want to increase my reach, I'll have a dedicated campaign, and I will design the banners myself and not just have text, and basically create interactive banners or well-designed banners. So in most cases, I will say do not select this. Google says use display expansion, show your ads to more places and get more conversions at a similar cost. Now, and Google also says that your ads will appear as banners. Google will transform your search ads into banners and show on these third-party websites and apps only if your campaign is not able to spend the budget. Let's say your budget is huge and the search volume is less. Your ads are not appearing on Google search. You're not exhausting your daily budget. Then Google is saying only then we will transform it into banners. But the problem here is Google search campaigns are intended. We create these campaigns that somebody is searching for it, and then we will show them these ads. But in these cases, it can appear on bbc.com. Nobody searched for your keyword, but Google can think that, okay, I'll transform into a banner and show it to a user. So it defies the purpose of search campaign, and it dilutes the results and your understanding of which placement is working. So it's always better to uncheck this unless you basically do not have resources at all to create your display banners, and your campaign is suffering, it's not able to spend your daily budgets. Then you can give it a try, but basically it's just mixing different kind of formats, and I don't personally recommend this, and I have never seen very good results in this kind of placement. So that's all about placements. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one, and we will discuss locations.